Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Marielle.
Welcome to this week's episode of Adventures and Mousecapades. Today's guest has us trading in our Disney pixie dust and park maps for a ticket to the brand new Universal Epic Universe. And we are dying to know if it lived up to the hype. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we are diving into rides, vibes, and maybe a few theme park secrets. First off, welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely.
I know we are breaking the mold and talking Universal, but tell us a bit about your Disney history. Did you grow up going to the theme parks?
I did. So my parents started taking me, I think I went to Disneyland when I was 2
Okay.
for the first time. And then we kind of went every 2 years after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then growing up, it was always Disneyland, and I got a hold of the Disney World vacation planning video, and I think I burned a hole in it from how many times I watched it, begging my parents to go there. And when I was 9, my brother was born, and we went shortly after he was born, and it was like the greatest place I had ever been. I was just amazed the whole time. And so then we started going there. We became DVC members. And we started going there more regularly than Disneyland, but I love them both equally.
Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite between the two. And then growing up, when people asked, what did you want to do? I always said that I wanted to work at Disney. And I ended up achieving that goal. I started with the Disney College program.
Yeah.
And I was on opening team for Toy Story Mania in 2008.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just as a college program kid, which is almost unheard of.
Yeah.
And because you have to not audition, but you have to interview specifically for opening teams. And so
Yeah.
it was it was a huge deal to get picked to be on opening team for that.
Yeah.
And I love Toy Story too, so it was just a perfect fit. And we got to work really closely with Imagineering and see all the back end stuff before it even opened, and it was such a cool experience. And then after that, I worked for Disney Cruise Line for about 6 years on board the ships. I worked on the Magic, the Wonder, and the Fantasy. So all 3 of those. And then I was there when the Dream opened, and left before they really expanded the fleet to what it's at now. But I loved that too. That was amazing.
That's so all right.
Awesome.
We will absolutely be picking your brain later.
Yeah.
For sure. So let's shift gears a little bit, and we're gonna talk about Universal a little today. So I'm assuming yes, but have you been to the Universal Orlando parks before, the existing ones?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
So I go there because they have more of the thrill rides than Disney does, and I'm a big roller coaster person. So I'm always okay, I gotta go. Gotta go on the Hulk. Gotta go on Hagrid's. I didn't go on Hagrid's until I think it's been 4 years ago was the first time I went to that part, and that just blew me away. But yeah. Yeah. So then when I heard Epic Universe was opening, I was like, well, one, it's a huge deal that there's a new theme park opening.
Yeah.
And there's going to be, a chance to go to Super Mario. I'm going to be there really close after they open to the public. So I was like, I got to go. Yeah. I have to do it.
Of course.
Yes, it's a bright, shiny, brand new park.
Yes.
Give us details about the trip. Who was with you? How long were you there? Did you stay on property?
I didn't stay on property at Universal. I stayed on Disney property at Riviera.
You have some standards then. I
get
it.
Yeah. I do get to my point where I'm like, okay, get me back on Disney property. But it's a fun day to go to Universal. I was with my parents, so I actually crashed their trip that they were planning to go by themselves. And I was like, well, if you're going, I'm going to go to Epic Universe for a
Yeah.
day and you guys can hang out. So they dropped me off in the morning to go to, I just had the one day at Epic Universe. So it
Yeah.
was like, got there right when it opened and I tried to cram in as much as I could. And I figured, being by myself, single rider would work to my
Yeah.
advantage too for a lot of things. So it did in a way. I also was recovering from surgery. So I have a little bit of like the accessibility perspective there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
In that if anybody is interested in that process, you have to start that process before you get there, which is
Okay.
a little bit kind of similar to Disney now, but a little different
Yeah.
than
Because
Disney.
Disney, I mean, they've had the Disability Access Service or DAS, but it's changed a year or so ago, and a lot of the physical limitations aren't qualifying anymore. It's more of the neurodivergent accessibility needs that Disney's catering to. So yeah, interested to
Right.
hear what your experience was with Universal and kind of the physical needs.
Yeah, so they have a program. You apply to it before you get there. You have to upload a doctor's note, and then it looked like a bunch of theme parks use the same program. So you select the park from this list. I uploaded a note from my doctor, and they kind of came back with the same initial response that Disney had of like, hey, all of our lines are accessible. So that's going to be your best bet is you can take a wheelchair through them. The issue was I had an ECV instead of a wheelchair because I was going to be by myself. And so I wasn't I had ankle surgery, so I wasn't at the point where I could do a theme park 10,000 20,000 step day.
Yeah.
So I had the scooter, but I could walk too, so it was
Yeah.
like a toss up. And when I got there, I had to go to guest services and put my name on the virtual queue and just wait for guest services. So that took a little bit of time out of
Yeah.
my like initial getting to the park and wanting to get on Stardust Racers right away.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So, but they were really accommodating. Basically, their lines are accessible, but you do have to transfer to a manual wheelchair. And that was where I was going to run into issues because I was by myself, so I wouldn't have anybody to push me.
Oh, yeah.
Liability issues, they can't push you through the line
Right.
either. So they gave me kind of the same thing as Disney where you get a return time for
Yep.
the rides.
Yep.
They are a lot more strict than Disney is with the return times there. Like if it says your wait is 180 minutes, then you come back exactly 180 minutes. I've found that Disney has a little bit more leeway with that,
Yeah.
where it's like 35 and they're like, come back in 20, it's
Yeah.
fine,
Yeah.
or something like that. But Universal was very strict. And some of that could be because it's brand new and,
Yeah.
they don't want people taking advantage there.
Sure.
But it did work out just being by myself, and it allowed me to go use single rider line at some of the other rides and
Yeah.
then also like have that in my back pocket. But that also meant I was going, back and forth across
Yeah.
the park
Yeah.
to different
Yeah.
different areas. So I got a lot in for sure.
Yeah. We both have had knee replacements, so we're very familiar with needing to use an ECV through the park. I would say the biggest difference with Disney is that you're actually typically able to bring that ECV through the line, at least for most of the modern rides, at least. Maybe some of the OG stuff in Fantasyland in like California, it's a little rough, but some of those lines are about 20 feet long anyway. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting that they make you transfer to a manual chair, but as long as they have a plan to get you through it, like I'm glad that they
Yeah.
were able to get that to work for you.
Yeah, I think some of that is because some of the queues do have like stairs or elevators that you have to take in the queue.
Right.
Okay.
And so that gets a little hard. But it also seemed like the park, like as a whole, isn't as accessible as Disney. Kind of the same familiar issues that the other Universal parks have of like, being worried for people who are in bigger bodies to fit in some of the rides. They did have a lot more like test seats outside that I haven't seen across Universal before.
Yeah.
So that was nice. But like Super Mario, there are stairs everywhere. It's all stairs, all elevators, all I can't think of the word. It's the escalator. There we go.
Escalator. Yeah.
Escalators. So that was a big hindrance there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it didn't prevent me from
Right.
anything. So I kind of got to a point where I just parked it outside, and I was like, whatever, I'll walk through there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad it worked out.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was your first reaction going into Epic Universe? Did anything surprise you right away?
I would say just how, like, the word I would use is like majestic it is. It kind of like takes your breath away from when you walk in, and it's the concept of each portal being into a different land of Epic Universe is very obvious when you first go in. And there's a lot of space too. Like it's a huge park. It's very spread out, and then the center is the I can't think of it. I think it's Celestial Park is in the center, and they have these big grand fountains and statues, and you can see the brand new hotel right there too. The Helios, I think, is what it's called.
Yes.
Um,
Helios Grand or something. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's all just right when you walk in, and you're just like, wow, like
Yeah.
this is so pretty. And then it's almost overwhelming of like, where do I start? Like, because
Yeah.
you have Super Mario, that's super popular. You have How to Train Your Dragon, which is very well done, like just in terms of theming. And then you have Harry Potter, which is also like mind blowing of just how well it's done. And then I didn't go to Dark Universe, but I've heard good things about it. I'm just not a like scary movie person, and
Yeah.
I didn't really want to go by myself if anything was super scary. So
Hey, I am right there with you. I am not all about the scary stuff. So.
yeah, like I get freaked out on Haunted Mansion sometimes with those things that pop up in the graveyard. So I was like, I'll skip that one. But I have heard very good things about that part too. So it was just mostly like, oh, where do I start? Because I don't even know where to go. But it was all just so well done. So cool.
You did a great job. My next thing, I was going to list off all of the different portals and lands to everything. So congratulations.
Feeling your thunder.
Exactly. So Celestial Park, like how did that set the tone for your visit?
It's kind of interesting because it doesn't really fit with the rest of like what is in the park, but it's kind of like the central hub, kind of like Disney has the hub and spokes concept for all their parks. That's what I would say this was. And it seemed like an area where you could, come take a break. You could sit and watch the fountains. If you wanted something, quick and easy, you could go on the carousel, which was like so pretty. I also didn't stay at night, which I kind of wish I did, because I've heard very good things about just how pretty it is there. And it was a way to just kind of like get your bearings again. If you were lost or didn't know where to go next, you could kind of just hang out there.
Yeah.
There isn't a lot of shade, so it was very open, very sunny. Central Florida, typical 90-degree weather, 90-degree humidity. So that was kind of like you could take a break there, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it unless you were sitting like really close to the fountain and could get some of the water.
Did it look like they're going to have a bunch of like trees grow in? Is it just because it's so young, or was there really not a lot of shade that they've put in yet?
It looked like from what I could tell, they didn't really have a plan to add more. It was all concrete. And there's stores right when you walk into, and a Starbucks that has, the Epic Universe cup there too, which I made sure to get too. But that part is all shaded. And then it goes over towards How to Train Your Dragon and Stardust Racers. Stardust Racers is probably, I think, and the carousel are one of the only rides that I think are in Celestial Park. So they're not necessarily behind a portal.
Okay.
So they're kind of more out in the open, and that's like, and across from stores. So there's a lot of space for you to just kind of like plan out your day there, pretty much.
Yeah.
You said you're a coaster person.
Yes.
So how was Stardust? It was Stardust Racers, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So did you get on Stardust Racers?
I did. And I did both sides. I did both the
nice.
green and the yellow. It was amazing. I don't know if either one of you have been on VelociCoaster.
No.
No, not yet.
I want to.
So,
Nathan, will
yeah.
you actually go on VelociCoaster?
I mean, maybe in another life, sure.
I love coasters. Yeah.
Yeah, so VelociCoaster, when I went on it, I was a little freaked out because it doesn't have the shoulder
Yeah.
restraints. It's just the lap restraint. Totally worth it. Like, probably the best roller coaster I've ever been on. Like, I would say that and Cosmic Rewind are like 1A, 1B for me.
Oh, wow.
And then I would put Stardust Racers at number 2 behind that, and like probably Hagrid's at like 2B. So, like getting really, I can't pick. But yeah, it's so good. Like, I would have loved to go on that one at night because I feel like you could get more of the theming there.
Yeah.
But it still came through that the two tracks are racing against each other.
Mhm.
The music kind of immerses you while you're on the ride, so you're not really thinking about anything. And you do get really close to the track next to you, so it's very like it keeps that competitiveness going between the two. And I don't want to give too many spoilers about it, but there's a couple different launches that really just like, send you back in your seat. And it's like I got off and I was like, I should just get in line again. Like, this is so good. And funny enough, it was the shortest wait from almost anything, which I thought was really interesting, given that it's a thrill coaster.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it get above probably like I think 40 minutes was the highest that I saw it all day. So
Are the two sides symmetrical, just like opposite shaped, or are they actually doing a little bit different?
They're slightly different in terms of like the twists and like which direction you go and kind of some of that. But they are pretty similar, and it's like you can't really tell the difference until you go on both sides.
Right.
So
I didn't know if it was like Mission Space where like you have an intense side and a gentle side, but you're still racing.
Yeah, no, they're both very intense.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff I'm okay with. I can't do Galaxy. Like
Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind just rewinds my gut, and I just it's the spinning. It's I can't handle it. VelociCoaster, I think Alicia and I would both get on, quite frankly, but we typically fall into that larger person bucket where these rides and these seats just don't work for us. So I'm actually really happy to hear that they have more test seats out at the new park, because that will save us from perhaps needlessly waiting in line.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I could do VelociCoaster now. When we were at the park before, I was much heavier, and what just wasn't. I was so bummed that I couldn't fit in there.
Yeah. I would be too. But Stardust is kind of the same seat. You sit up a little higher, but it's still the same kind of restraint.
Yeah.
And the same. They locker, walk through a metal detector, can't take anything with you.
Oh my gosh.
I know, which was also kind of a bummer because I was like, I wanna take pictures. I wanna tell everyone about this, but no.
You have to get one of those. I wonder if they allow the cameras that you basically strap on your chest.
Oh, they might. Yeah. I didn't see anyone with
You
them.
just can't hold anything.
Yeah.
I have heard that track at night is phenomenal. Like, the track isn't lit at all. It's only the cars themselves. So it really looks
so
like
cool.
comets going across and everything. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's harder to see that detail in the day. You can see the comet part on the on the track or the train, but it's a little harder to see.
Got it. Now, I know you didn't spend a ton of time in Darkmoor over in the Dark Universe. Did you take a peek in there at all?
I walked in really quick and I was like, oh, this looks cool. And then I kind of walked out. So
that's fair. That's totally fair. So for the question that Alicia had prepared was, did it remind you of Halloween Horror Nights? And so sounds like yes, in that both you and I would say, no, thank you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That was immediately the vibe that I got in when I walked in there. I was like, oh, no. That's not for me. I'm more of a not so scary Halloween party girl.
That sounds fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right. So Ministry of Magic TM. What is, Universal already has the Wizarding World of Harry Potter TM, lands at both of its other two Orlando parks. So how does this iteration, stack up against those?
I would say it's a good fit. It's kind of a bummer to me that they're not all combined.
Yeah.
Because Epic Universe is on the complete opposite side of I-4 from the rest of which was surprising to me. I didn't know that going in, and I was like driving through this residential area, like, am I sure there's a theme park over here? Yeah, there it is. So it's set in France.
Okay.
So all of the theming is very French. And you, like, immediately when you walk in, you're just immersed in Harry Potter. Like, you feel like you are a character in the movie. There's so much. If you have a wand, there's I feel like there's way more to do there that's interactive than at the other parks.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was really cool. There's a lot more of the moving pictures. It seemed like there was still some stuff that wasn't quite open yet or quite ready, and I'm not sure if they're still building on that.
Yeah.
Because the only ride over there is Ministry of Magic, so the rest is street performers. There's the show, which I didn't go to because I was maximizing ride time.
Right.
But I've heard great things about it. I saw some of the street performers, which was really cool. There's a bakery, there's a chocolate store with all of the typical Harry Potter stuff. I would say there's a lot more to explore and kind of get lost in than Harry Potter at Universal. Because there's more like back alleys and things you can go down, and so you kind of get caught and interact with some of the pictures that call you out when you're walking by.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really fun. And if you're close to someone with a wand, that works in your favor too, because then you get to see all of that too. I didn't buy one, but I was around people that had one, and it was so cool to see. And you could see all the kids just immediately like thinking that they were in Harry Potter, which was amazing.
What'd you think of the Ministry of Magic ride?
Oh, it's so cool. It's like it's definitely worth the hype if it works the whole time. And that's where some of the issues are with the park, is I don't think they're ready yet for the full capacity of what is going to come at them. Because I think when I went the beginning of July, I think there's still a limited capacity a little bit. We're capping ticket sales.
Okay.
So it was busy, maybe. Yeah. It was busy, like immediately, and you get early entry if you stay on property too. So like I didn't have that advantage too. And I think every day they open a ride for early entry, like a different part too. So sometimes it's Ministry of Magic, sometimes it's How to Train Your Dragon, sometimes it's Donkey Kong.
Oh, nice.
Just kind of depends on the day. Ministry of Magic was one of those 180 minute wait rides. But I was like, I'm here. I've heard it's worth it. I'm gonna do it. So I got the return time. The ride went down while I had my return time. And so then they gave me an express pass, which I could have used, at any other ride, but I was like, nope, I'm going to wait until this comes back up, and this is what I'm going to do. And like the queue is you walk through and you go through the Floo powder and you are in the ministry. Like I thought I walked into the movie.
Wow.
That it's crazy. There's giant posters of Professor Umbridge, and she's talking, and because the theme of the ride is that you're at the trial of Dolores Umbridge, and so that's why you're in the Ministry of Magic. And so you see all these characters as you're walking through. Because I had Express Pass, I missed a little bit of the queue, but you could still see some of it.
Sure.
And then getting on the ride, I know Disney has really sensitive ride systems, like, Haunted Mansion is pretty sensitive.
Yep.
This one is probably the most sensitive ride system I've been on. They have you're sitting in, it's kind of like a Tower of Terror elevator style.
Okay.
But your feet have to stay on the ground. Otherwise, the ride will stop.
Interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to keep your back against the thing, otherwise the ride will stop too. So
Wow.
it's that sensitive.
Huh.
And
So,
yeah.
sounds like the designers and operations weren't quite talking to each other.
Right. Because like, you got little kids on these rides. I don't know how
Sure.
that works sometimes. But I
I mean,
think
you've run rides before. I mean, imagine
Yeah.
if on like Toy Story Mania, if like, I'm sorry, if little Billy sits forward to like, shoot the gun or whatever, the ride's going to stop. Like that would be a nightmare.
Right. And I think that it goes down so much because of all the technology that's in it. So it's probably a combination of the screens and the ride vehicle and the I think there's animatronics in there. I would say like it's there's so much going on that it is like it's comparable to Rise of the Resistance, I would say, in terms of like theming and just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here right now.
Yeah.
That's the level that it is. So it is like they're inching on Disney's catching up there with that ride.
It sounds like it also is similar to Rise of the Resistance in terms of reliability.
Yes.
So,
That's
like,
the other.
Yeah.
Right.
That's actually perhaps a positive for Disney of everybody goes like, man, why can't you just get Rise to work? And it's like, well, nobody else can do a complex ride like this either.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why there's a
because
B mode
I mean,
and a C mode.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I got off and I was like, at least Disney has the B mode if Kylo's not working right or, this doesn't have anything. It's just, nope, you got to come back later and hope for the best. So, yeah.
Interesting.
And that one was probably like my top ride that I was like, I have to go on this. So I was really glad that I got to go through the full thing without anything happening.
Yeah.
Because I did get there like really close to when it went back up. And I was behind a really famous YouTuber. So they were kind of like crossing their fingers everything worked right for him. So I was like, all right, cool. I at least get that benefit.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Isle of Berk. From what we've seen online, this seems like one of the most immersive lands at a theme park that we have ever seen. With all of the character interaction opportunities, it kind of follows through and maybe beats the promises that Disney made on Galaxy's Edge for Star Wars fans. What did you think of this How to Train Your Dragon experience? And more importantly, did you get to meet Toothless?
I did not get to meet Toothless. The line was a little too long for me. Not having read the books or watched the movies, I was just going in there as like, hey, I've heard this is really cool and I should go on it. Going into Epic Universe, I was like, okay, my priorities are Harry Potter and Super Mario, at least for me. And then it was like, if I have time, I will do everything else. So since I had those like return times, it was like, okay, let me go back. And Harry Potter and Super Mario are on opposite ends of the park. So it was like, okay, I got my return time for Harry Potter. Let me go check out Super Mario and see what that's doing. And then it was like, oh, well, I either have to wait in line or because I can't get another return time.
Right.
Or let me go see if something else is going on. So that's when I was like, okay, let me go into Isle of Berk. It's very close to Stardust Racers. So you can, if you go on Stardust Racers, you get a good bird's eye view of what that land looks like, which is really cool. Like you mentioned with Galaxy's Edge, I would say that it's very comparable to that and probably beats it in terms of character interactions. Like I saw Toothless and I saw just the look on people's faces of just like I can't believe this is real, and B, that it's like in a theme park and I'm experiencing this. I also didn't go on any of the rides in there, but I have heard great things about them too. I had a friend who went to the cast previews, and I would say that they're a little bit more unbiased than I am in terms of theme parks because I'm very much like Disney's the best and then everything else. But they had nothing but great things to say about that area, and it was again very immersive when I was riding through on my scooter, and if I had been with someone who was very into it, like I would have been like, absolutely, let's go do
Yeah.
everything.
Yep.
I'm glad that I went in and got to experience it, because I would feel like I missed out on a huge part of the park if I
Yeah.
didn't at least go in and see what was going on. And the rides, I would say that that part has a lot of kid-friendly rides,
Mhm.
especially if Super Mario gets overwhelming for people. That's a good area to go in. There is they have a water ride in there, so that's a great way to like cool off in the middle of the day too.
Mhm.
I would say, yeah, they definitely give Galaxy's Edge a run for their money, and
Yeah.
kind of beat Disney in terms of what they expected Galaxy's Edge to be, or what they're
Yes.
trying for it to be. So
Yes, I think you
Yeah.
nailed it. Like Disney cast this vision before Galaxy's Edge opened of what it would be and how engaging it would be. And hey, if you got, such and such a score or an achievement or something like that on, Millennium Falcon, then when you go into Olga's or somewhere else, like the interactions would be based on your experiences. And they like, there was just going to be this whole just super immersive, like you are diving into the land that I think they did with the hotel that they had. Yeah, and unfortunately it didn't last too long and was priced just astronomically, pun intended. But they cast that vision, and then their follow through on it has been. You see some stormtroopers every once in a while, or
Yeah.
like you're starting to see some characters out a little bit, but it just seems like it's so much more over the top. And you've got like the blacksmith and the twins walking around. You have all of these characters that from the movies that they're
Of
just
How to Train Your Dragon.
from How to Train Your
Yeah.
Dragon, right? Not in Star Wars,
Yeah.
but in Olive Park.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm mixing metaphors here now. It just, yeah, I think Universal. And now we haven't been there yet, so this is just what we've seen from a bunch of stuff online and a lot of YouTube videos from folks that we, frankly trust. It seems like Universal was able to execute a lot of the vision and the style of immersiveness that Disney had hoped to do and just didn't quite get there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that sometime.
Yeah, I would say that it feels more organic too. Not that Galaxy's Edge doesn't feel organic, but
Mhm.
I think because, and maybe I missed this on the app or something, because I am a little bit more familiar with Disney's app, and you can see when the characters are coming out.
Yeah.
And I think because, you have people waiting for Mando and Baby Yoda to show up, and you have people waiting around to see all these characters. Whereas at Universal, they're just around. They're just walking, like it is their home, and they're supposed to be there. And you are like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but just like, hey, this is our place and this is where we're supposed to be. And I don't know if that's a difference in terms of, like guest engagement or anything like that, but it does feel a lot more organic than Galaxy's
Yeah.
Edge. And
Yeah.
I remember like I went to cast previews for the one for Galaxy's Edge at Disney World,
Mhm.
and I heard all those same things that you said of like, yeah, just wait until it opens, and then with your magic band it's going to follow you around the park, and it's
Yeah.
going to be like, you can be an actual outlaw like Han Solo, and it was like, wow, this is going to be amazing. And then it's still amazing,
Right.
but it's just not quite what it was hyped up
Right.
to be.
Yep.
I do wonder if the characters are going to continue to walk around at Universal, or if it's brand new, we'll do this for the first 6 months and then tone it down a bit. I hope they keep it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they might, but just based on feedback from everyone of like how cool it is.
Yeah.
And that, and Super Mario does have, Mario and Luigi out there too, but it's a little more staged like Disney is, of like, you
Sure.
wait in line, take a picture.
Yep.
Again, this feels more like organic, of like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect you. Kind of like, on the cruise ship when you're walking around and there's a character, you're just like, oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Yes. 100%. Okay, so you've mentioned Super Nintendo World, TM. How immersive, and we were just talking about immersivity. Yep, I just made up a word with Isle of Burke. Like, how immersive is Mario World and Donkey Kong Country? Like, how does that feel?
It also feels like you are in the video game. Like, I was really impressed at all these areas and how immersive it was, because, Disney always gets hyped up for that aspect of it, of like, you can't tell, and you don't know, you feel like you're somewhere else, you tune out the real world. I felt like that here, which I can't necessarily say about the other Universal parks.
Yeah.
But I definitely felt that here. I would say Super Mario is the most overstimulating out of all of them.
Okay.
For sure. Because right when you walk in, that plays the sound like you're going up the green pipe, and you get on the escalator, and then there's Rainbow Road right when you walk into, and then you go to the top of the escalator and you are in, like, you walk through Peach's castle, and then it's just like, oh my gosh, there's the music, there's the game sounds, there's Mario and Luigi down there talking, there's the flowers that are chomping at you, there's the coin spinning around, everyone with their little are they called power-up bands, I think?
Something like that.
Bands,
all of those everywhere with the coin things. Like, it is crazy in a good way.
Yes. I've been to the one in California, and it is extremely bright, very colorful, so much movement, loud. It is definitely overstimulation.
I was not on that trip to California because I think that was Halloween Horror Nights when you.
Yes, I was.
I didn't go. Like, I'm imagining with you two talking about this and what you're describing, like, the picture in my head is just like Cartoon Land or like Toonland in like Roger Rabbit, and it's just like, you go behind the wall and it's just like insane. And I think overstimulating is 100% the right word for that.
It's amazing though. The one in California is. I don't know if the one in Florida is a carbon copy of it, just that part of it, because I know there's no Donkey Kong Country in California. But
I think the one in Florida is a carbon copy of what they have in Japan, and then the one in California is pared down a little bit because they didn't have as much room.
Oh, that's right. They don't have the Yoshi ride there.
Yep. So speaking of rides in Nintendo World, there's Minecart Madness and there's Bowser's Challenge. Did you get a chance to do any of the rides?
I did both of those.
Okay.
I didn't go on Yoshi, which I wanted to because I am a big Yoshi fan. Like, I played that growing up. But I was also like, half of it's in the sun and it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. Like, I don't really want to, I don't want to deal with that. It's 90-minute wait. Like, no, I'd rather wait 90 minutes for Bowser's Challenge. So that one, like, I walked in and I was like, oh, I'm literally in the race from Mario Kart. Like, I am in Bowser's Castle. And I did the single rider line with that one while I was waiting for return time for Donkey Kong.
Okay.
So that one is one of the ones where people use the single rider line as like, well, I'm going to bypass the regular line. So I don't really care. It doesn't move very fast. So you could wait, just as long as the regular line if you use the single rider line. And it's a little deceiving because you can see where you're going to get on, but you just don't move as fast as everyone else. And that one is also, I will say that queue has a lot of stairs. There's a lot of twists and turns that you don't see when you go through the single rider line. So I may have missed some of the queue that I didn't see. But the ride itself, I also didn't have a power-up band, and it probably would have worked better if I did. They do say you don't need one for the ride. So they're like, it just keeps track of your points. I don't know what the points are used for either. But you don't need one to race. And it is, I mean, there's 4 people to a car. And the actual system for how you're riding is pretty cool because you put on a Mario hat. And then the visor is like magnetic, that the 3D visor sticks up to the hat. And so, it kind of just like clicks in and then you're ready to go. And you don't click that in until you get into the ride. So you pull out the visor from the car and put it on the hat that you've been wearing in line.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it has one of the twist things in the back. You can twist it to fit on your head.
Yeah.
And then you go through and you're pretty much racing against another car next to you, but all four of you in the car have different things that you can do. Your shells are different that you're shooting.
Okay.
I didn't quite know what I was doing on the ride, I'll be totally honest.
They do not do a good job of telling you what to do on this in the queue, even the
Yeah.
regular queue. Because I've done this one and it's fun, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, I was kind of just shooting
Mhm.
things and hoping to like hit someone or something, and then I
Yep.
was like, wow, that's cool. And I
That's
just
how-
thought it was really fun. I was just like, I probably, I wouldn't wait more than like 100. I mean, to be totally honest, I probably wouldn't wait more than 90 minutes for it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But since it was new, I was like, it's a free pass for having a high wait
Yeah.
time. I'll suffer those consequences
Mm-hmm.
and do
Yeah.
it. And I thought I ended up waiting, I would say probably 70 minutes, 75
Okay.
minutes in the single rider line.
Wow.
Which it was long, but I was like, I don't feel bad. I don't regret waiting that
Yeah.
long either. It was totally worth it to me. And it was really cool. Yeah.
What you guys just described of not really know what you're doing, that's how I feel every time I get on web slingers in Disneyland. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
flailing my hands around.
Yeah.
Did I win? I have no idea.
So I've heard if you like a chop motion,
I
that
do
kind of
finger
helps.
guns. Pew, 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 pew.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. It's just like, and then I look like a crazy like fruit ninja person, just like
Everybody
chopping
in the car
everywhere.
does, so you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country. I've heard it's a little bit different, maybe not quite as overstimulating. And then the Minecart Madness is there. Did you get on that one? Because that
I
looks
did.
really cool to me.
It is. That was one where I was like, I have to go on this because it looks like you jumped the track, and I'm like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, that is so
Yeah.
cool. I also felt bad because my boyfriend is a huge Mario fan, and I was there without him, and so I was walking through, and I was like, if you don't want me to go on it, I won't go on it until you can come. And he was like, no, it's fine, go on it. And I was like, okay, thanks. Like, like, bye. I'll tell you how it is. So I did go on that one. Donkey Kong Country, correct, is not as overstimulating as the rest of Super Mario. But you do have a lot of the drums. So that theming is there. I forget what their signature like drink is called, but I did get that because I was like, I heard a lot of good things about it. It's in a Donkey Kong barrel with this huge like waffle cone thing on top. And
Ooh.
yeah, it was I forget what's all in it now. It's definitely like coconut, pineapple, like very tropical
Okay.
thing happening. But I would say the line for that is almost as long as the line for the coaster. Like,
Oh my gosh.
it was crazy. Yeah, because everyone wanted that cup. So
That's hilarious.
yeah. And then the queue for Minecart Madness is kind of like tucked in the back a little bit. Again, like I had a return time for that, but they sent me through the single rider line.
Okay.
So I got on pretty quick when I was
Mhm.
on there. And I happened to get on with a really friendly group of people, so that was fun.
Nice.
You have 4 people in the cart. It's a lot shorter than I thought it was gonna be.
Okay.
So, kind of like Tron, where I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so cool and it's so fun. And then I was like, wait, it's over
It's
already?
over.
Like, oh, that's it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that was kind of disappointing, but the animatronics are really cool. The ride is really cool. I will say that one is one where you kind of have to be aware of like different body types sitting in that, because there's like this there's like a knob thing in the middle, which isn't like it's supposed to go between your legs, but it doesn't really. It's kind of further back, so it ends up going like up your butt a little bit. And so I'm just like, that's a little awkward, and it is very bumpy too, so it's just kind of like
Oh,
not very
jeez.
comfortable while you're going through it.
Who thought this one through?
Yeah, I was like, the test and adjust period was not long enough for this ride. Like,
Yeah, more testing and more adjusting, please.
yeah, definitely more adjusting. So, but the part where you jump over the track, like it's kind of like a blink and you'll miss it moment too. So you really have to pay attention. But you do get a nice there's a little bit of water during that too. So that's a nice in the Florida heat.
Yeah.
That one was really immersive too. Like you have all the different I mean, I think Diddy Kong was in there. Definitely Donkey Kong, and then the old guy that I can't remember his name now,
Is it
but
Papa or something? I don't know. Yeah.
maybe, yeah,
I
like
don't know. I
the
didn't.
grandpa looking one.
Grandpa.
Yeah, yeah. He's there too with, and his animatronic I think is the most prominent, which is very cool. Yeah, and that again, I would say also like downside of Super Mario is there's hardly any shade anywhere unless you're in line, so that kind of is rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
UV umbrellas for the win.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So we've talked about a whole bunch of rides. Which one stood out to you the most, and why? Was it the thrill or the theming? Was it something that you just were completely unexpected and surprised by?
I would say that Stardust Racers I was surprised by. Like
Yeah.
I knew going in that it was a thrill ride, but I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it
Yeah.
was. So that kind of that was a pleasant surprise for
Yeah.
me. And I would say Ministry of Magic was also a really big surprise because I purposely went in like not knowing anything about what the ride was about. I didn't watch any videos. I didn't even know that it was, the trial of Dolores Umbridge until I walked in.
Yeah.
And that was just like my mouth was open the entire time I was on that ride. It was just like every new screen, every new turn was like, oh my gosh, how are they doing this? This is so cool. Like I can't say enough good things about that ride. And I think overall, like the theming of Super Mario, like if I was a kid, like that would be the coolest place I
Yeah.
had ever been. I think like especially a kid that plays Super Mario, like
Yeah.
wow, like and the amount of souvenirs they have there is crazy.
They
Like
took a page out of Disney's playbook on that one for sure.
yes, yeah, they did, and they got me good. Like
I don't know. Unfortunately I don't really connect with any of the Nintendo stuff. I never had one. I had a friend who had the original NES, but I had an Atari 2600, and yep, that was my thing. A little simpler graphics, not quite as impressive.
yeah, yeah. I was always a big Mario Kart person, and so when I heard there was a ride that you could like it's gonna be like you're racing, I was like, "Oh man, like I gotta do that." As long as it's not Rainbow Road because I always fall off on that one, but anything else,
Yeah.
amazing.
Any standout snacks or meals while you were there?
So I didn't eat a lot. I brought a lot of food with
Okay.
me, because I didn't do a lot of research on that before, and I was really trying to maximize my time for rides while I was there.
Sure.
But I would say the whatever special drink they have at Donkey Kong,
The
like
Donkey Kong drink.
definitely, yeah,
All right.
definitely go get that. They did have different, like the Coke freestyle machines, and you could get a
Yep.
refillable cup and
Mhm.
do all that. And there was different specialty drinks for different parts of the park. Like Celestial Park had a special drink, and then I think Dark Universe had a special one, which I saw. I just didn't get because I
Yeah.
was like, nope, gotta go. I gotta go on rides.
You're a woman on a mission.
Yeah, yeah. So that was I can't provide too much there, but I've also
worries.
heard really good things about I think there's a pizza place
Mm.
that's right by Celestial Park. I've heard really good things about that. And I did spend a bit of time on, like Reddit or places
Yeah.
before just seeing people's experience of like,
Mhm.
okay, what time did you get in? How long did it take you? What rides were down? Funny enough, I think during the week is busier than the weekend
Huh.
for Epic Universe, and I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if they have pass, like their annual pass holders are blocked out,
Oh,
you know.
maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I'm not sure, but that was definitely the case when I was there. I was there on a
Yeah.
Tuesday and it was super busy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Huh.
yeah.
Well, as a former Disney cast member, you have a perspective that Alicia and I don't. You know, we are
Yeah.
general, park going public, but you have been on the inside of what it takes to really have an amazing guest experience. How does Epic Universe compare against Disney in terms of that guest experience and storytelling?
Um, I have really high standards with this
Yeah.
because I come from Disney.
Sure.
So there were like I had experiences that were on both end of the spectrum. I had experience that were really great, like the initial cast members I talked to, or team members, since we're Universal, yeah.
Yeah.
Those they were really friendly when I first came in. I will say when I was talking to the guest experience team about, like, hey, I'm by myself. How am I supposed to get through these lines, in a manual wheelchair?
Yeah.
I really had to advocate for myself in that
Mm.
aspect with them. Like, and I had to specifically say, like, hey, I know you have something where I can get a return time. Is that an option? Um, they were happy to just let me be like, yep, well, figure it out. That's your option. Sorry.
Yeesh.
So I really had to like bring that up or ask if there was anything else that could happen. So that was
Yeah.
a little bit of a bummer, but I'm glad that I, really brought that up to them.
Yeah.
And they once I did, they were like, "Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's something we can do." And I was like, "Thank you.
Yeah. Hooray.
That'd be super helpful." Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like, they're not at a point where they're tired of guests or anything yet. So they are really excited.
Mhm.
I will say the team members in Harry Potter, I think because that ride goes down so much, they get a
Mm.
lot of the same questions, the same
Mm.
people, and that was the one place where I did have a pretty negative
Mm.
experience. I went up to ask because they tell you, okay, you have your return time, and I'm like, okay, I can't get another return time until this one is redeemed and
Yeah.
the ride is down. So I genuinely don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so I went over there to ask. And as I was asking, there's 10, 12 other people around me
Yep.
asking what to do. And the team member was just like, hey, everyone, you know, the ride's not going to come back up just because you're standing here. And
Oof.
yeah, and she was like, you have a lot of time, like go spend your time doing something else and check the app and it'll tell you when you come back up. And the cast member part of me is like, well, one, people aren't always glued to their phones when they're
Right.
at the
Mhm.
parks. That's a pretty big like piece of feedback people give,
Yeah.
both for Disney and Universal. Like, I
Sure.
don't want to be
Sure.
on my phone the whole time.
Yep.
Second, like they don't know. Like there was a lot of foreign guests that were there. They don't
Mm.
know. They're just asking a question. Like they don't have all the information that you have. And so kind of like, I feel like there's a little bit of that like shift in perspective or
Mhm.
like, remembering the audience that you're talking to or
Mhm.
remembering that it's their first time, it's their vacation, it's their
Yeah.
like they don't come here every day like you do.
Yeah.
So that part of it, my brain was just like, that would never happen at Disney. Like, even if you
Yeah.
were the worst day you had ever had, like, I can't imagine a cast member ever
Yeah.
saying, go spend your time doing something else to
Yeah.
a group of people at
Mhm.
Disney. Um,
Or at least not
but
in that way. Like.
right. There
Yeah.
would be a much, nicer way to say
Yes.
that.
Yes.
The team members at Stardust Racers, they seem to love their lives. Like they just are like, I think they feel like they lucked out and it's the
Mm.
coolest ride to work at.
Yeah.
Same with Super Mario. Like, they were really good at moving people through, answering people's questions, managing the really long queues that spilled out of the regular queue line,
Yeah.
redirecting people. Like that was something that they were very prepared for, very good at. And, there was a lot of the guests were willing to take pictures for you if everything else was busy.
Yeah.
The team members, I don't see as many of them walking around as I do at at Disney.
Hmm.
And there is just like that slight difference of like, oh, there's a little bit of like something magical missing.
Yeah.
But it was a much more positive experience than the other Universal parks, I'll say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It sure sounds like it, and I think we've both experienced that as well, especially of the two legacy Universal parks in Orlando. We'll call it like it's just there's just that Disney magic is just not quite there. Typically, you'll see it shine through every once in a while, and it like at least to us, we go like, "Oh, you used to be at Disney, didn't you?" Like we could tell, like the folks who have been through traditions but are now at Universal versus the people who have never been at Disney and now work at Universal. Like there was a clear differentiation.
Yeah, it's either you've worked at Disney before or you're a double dipper where you work at both at the same time. Yeah.
Would you go back?
I would wait to go back, I would say. I think they need to work out some of the kinks in terms of crowd management, ride load management. And it's not a fault of the park. I just think it's so new, and they I think they maybe underestimated how excited people were going to be about it.
It opened May 22nd, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So I would give it a year or so until, let them work out some of those kinks, get some feedback from guests. The crazy thing to me is that, I know I guess I'll call them legacy Universal parks. They've also gotten feedback about accessibility and lack of shade, and they didn't seem to take any of that into account in opening this park. And that's probably the biggest piece of feedback I had to them, of like, you really need to listen to your guests in that regard. Because it'll just be a better experience for everyone. Like I've never seen so many people get heat stroke in the time that I've been in Florida. And it was a little scary.
Wow.
Honestly, I mean, I used to live there in the middle of the summer, and this was the first time. I mean, I saw probably 4 or 5 people that were affected by it while I was at Epic. And so that was like, wow, and I don't know if shade would have made a difference, but it is something that I know that people complain about and have given them feedback about. So,
When you do go back, is there anything that you do differently? Something else that you prioritize, or maybe is this a 1-day park? Is this a 2-day park?
I would say it's probably a 2-day park. I'm not sure if you do 2-day. I don't think you need to do Express Pass. I'll say that. If I was with other people, I probably, and only going for 1 day, I probably would have sprung for the Express Pass, even though it's pricey. But if I'm with people where, again, we're like, we want to maximize our ride time and we're only here for 1 day. And I did leave like early evening too, so I didn't do like a full park day, and that's probably something I would change if I went back to. I would stay later because I've also heard like Dark Universe and Harry Potter, like those lines, I mean, they die down at the end of the night. So you can go on those multiple times if you go after 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I would probably change that, and to just see the park at night too. Like, I think that would be really cool. And maybe, I would stay on property so I could get the benefits of early entry. But that would depend on pricing for the hotels. Since I'm DVC, it's like, well, why would I pay for the hotel if I already have this? So,
We understand that calculus.
Do you have any tips that you would give somebody planning their very first trip to Epic Universe?
I would say to figure out what you want to do first and start there. And definitely pack your patience if you're going, and also kind of determine what you're okay with skipping, because if you are only going for 1 day, you're bound to not hit everything there, especially because like Bowser's Castle will go down at the same time as Ministry of Magic. And so then, everyone kind of floods those other rides
Yeah.
and you're kind of just like stuck. So you kind of have to be okay with missing some things. And I would say, uh, bring a fan. If you're going in the summer, bring your own water. But really kind of make a plan of how you want to go around the park and what you want to do and what's a priority for you. And also realize that you're going to be walking back and forth a lot. And you may not get to do everything, but I feel like I hit a lot of the big things and was pretty lucky to do so while I was there. So yeah, and if you can only go on one Stardust Racers, I would say go on the green side instead of the yellow. Yeah.
There you go. Pro tip right there.
Yeah.
Well, speaking about being a professional, and we're going to shift back to Disney here, it's now time for Alicia's patented Disney torture test. But you've been a cast member, you know all of the inside stuff. But seriously, though, Marielle, good luck.
All right.
This is just your Disney favorites from Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, Marvel, anything under Mickey's umbrella.
Okay. My favorites.
Your favorite character.
Sergeant Calhoun.
Okay.
She's
From
my
Wreck-It
favorite.
Ralph.
From Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah. Very underrated. I'd say she's my favorite, like, underrated character. Favorite princess is Cinderella. Mostly because Walt's favorite piece of animation is when she transforms in the dress.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah. And growing up, my family always told me that I kind of looked like Cinderella, and they would call me Marielle Cinderella. So that was like yeah. And then underrated princess is probably Megara from Hercules.
Nice.
Yeah. Pixar character is, ooh, that's a tough one. I would say Barbie from Toy Story.
Nice.
Yeah, because I love pretending to be tour guide Barbie when I'm at Disney with people. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Nice.
Star Wars.
Oh, no. Just your overall. I'm just saying you
overall.
can choose from all of them.
I was I can keep going if you want. Like I can pick I can go Marvel. Like
We're going to go through the whole Disney catalog of all like 500 or so movies. And I want you to tell me which character. No.
Disney Renaissance. And then, keep going. Yeah. No.
We'll stack rank them and then. No.
Is Sergeant Calhoun your favorite overall, or
no? I would say overall Cinderella is my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was a main driver of me. Like I got to go to Florida and see her castle. Like this is
of course.
This is it's the best.
Favorite movie?
Emperor's New Groove.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think Nathan likes that one. I'm calling him out.
Thank you,
I love
Alicia.
it. I think it's great.
Yeah, they have for Halloween at Disneyland. They have a little poison drink bottle.
Yeah.
That has the llama on it, and I was like, somebody please get me this and send it to me. Otherwise, I have
a purse that is that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Favorite ride?
Oh, Cosmic Rewind for sure.
All right.
Yeah. Rock and Roller Coaster is a second.
Yeah.
I have been on that one with the lights fully on and fully off.
Wow.
So not like fully off, nothing glowing.
Whoa.
Like, you are in pitch. Yeah, it was really freaky, but it was also like one of my favorite things I've ever done because
like
it's
Deep
so
Space
cool.
Mountain there.
Yes. Yeah.
Disney World or Disneyland?
Oh, I would say Disney World. And my justification is that I know everyone says that Disneyland was like, well, it was Walt's baby.
Yeah.
My justification is like Disney World was Walt's dream. That was, he bought that land. He had so many ideas for what to do there. And so the fact that we get to live in that and experience that is so cool.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too. That's nice. Out of all the individual parks that you've been to, which one is your favorite?
I would say Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah. There's just something about like the castle being bigger and
Mm.
it being so separated from the transportation and ticket center, and it's
Mhm.
just like on its own little island, and there's more space, and it just feels like, this is how it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite hotel or resort?
Oh, yeah, no, that's a tough one. I probably the Polynesian.
Mm.
That's the first resort that we stayed at when on my first trip. And then
Okay.
I just think like the theming there is unbeatable,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And it being on the monorail, and you can go to the beach there. They have the pool that you don't have to go to the park to go to get a Dole Whip. Like
Yep.
yeah. But Riviera, I was also pleasantly surprised
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
like in a really good way. Like
Yeah.
I was expecting it. We toured it, and I was expecting it like, oh, it's like a hotel. It's not really DVC,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel like a hotel when you're in the room. And
No, it doesn't.
I could watch the Epcot fireworks from my balcony. Like that was so cool. Like
That's
Mm.
awesome.
yeah,
Favorite DCL ship?
the Magic. That's yeah. She was the first one I worked on,
Yeah.
and she's the original. And I think I like this. I prefer the smaller ships, to be
Yes, we
totally
do too.
honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think she has a lot of charm in a really
Mhm.
cute way. I like how intimate it is. You can get to know the crew members better than the larger ships.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get to know the people you're sailing with. It doesn't feel as overwhelming or like, oh, there's too much to do. I think it's the
Mm.
perfect amount of
Yeah.
what to do. And she used to have the cool itineraries, and now they moved them to the Dream. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. Well,
Favorite restaurant?
oh, that one's tough because I don't eat on property that much.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, we're more of like a eat off property type family. But I do love me some Disney snacks. So
What's your favorite snack?
um
That's
a
the
churro.
last one. A
Churro
churro.
for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
From
Yeah.
where?
Disneyland actually has superior churros.
Yes, I do.
And there was a carrot cake churro they had a couple years ago during
Be still my
Halloween.
beating heart.
Yeah. And it was at the churro cart outside of Haunted Mansion.
Mm.
And I got to experience Haunted Mansion Holiday for the first time, and the magic of a carrot cake churro. And it was like,
Wow.
it was a core memory in my brain for sure.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds. Well,
Yeah.
the one thing I will share with you, if you haven't already, go to Nomad Lounge next time you're in Animal Kingdom
Oh, yeah.
and get the churros there.
Okay.
They are arguably, I could say, they are actually better than the Disneyland churros.
Oh, wow.
And
They're little.
they're gluten free, which means they're healthy and good for you.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So like my happy place is Nomad Lounge with an order of churros and a beer, and like, yeah, I'm set. Like,
Oh,
if the
yeah.
kids want to go ride Avatar and all the like, go have
Go.
fun. I will be right here.
And
With
they're
my
better
churros.
because they're made fresh right there. They're not
Yes.
sitting out.
Oh.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's a part of the Tiffin's restaurant right there too. So
Yep.
Okay.
good stuff.
I'm gonna have to see my go-to at Animal Kingdom was just the Dole Whip with the shot of rum, and so now I'm
that's
gonna
good
have
too.
to-
I mean,
Also,
nothing
yeah,
safe.
Yeah.
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 I may have done that, got one of those, and then joined Nathan at Nomad Lounge.
Yes.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Marielle, congratulations. You survived the torture test.
Yay. That was one of my favorite torture tests.
There
Not
you
that I've
go.
had a lot, but I love a Disney one. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us and talking about Universal Epic Universe. That is
Universals, right?
No. There's no S. It's
Which
Universal.
corporate naming committee was involved in that? What? Okay, fine, whatever.
The
Anyhow.
same one that designed Donkey Kong, I guess. Yeah.
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 But thank you. It was so fun to hear your perspective of it. And I want to go.
Yes.
I know. Hopefully this makes people, excited to go
Mhm.
and gives them a little bit more boots on the ground experience.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed talking with you
Yeah.
both. And if you ever want, a deep dive on cruises or opening a ride, hit me up for sure.
Oh, we will
Definitely.
be in
Yeah.
touch 100%. Thank you so much, Marielle.
Thank you.
Please remember we are not affiliated with Disney, Universal, or any of their subsidiaries. These are personal opinions and suggestions based on our own experiences. We recommend working with a travel agent or contacting Disney or Universal directly to plan your perfect vacation.
If you have questions or suggestions or would like to be interviewed on our show to share your vacation experience, please send an email to podcast@ourmousecapades.com.
You can follow us on socials. We are at Our Mousecapades. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube.
And please give us a rating and review in your podcast app. That really helps people find us.
Of course, don't hesitate to share us with your friends and fellow Disney lovers of all ages.
Thanks for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.